You know, once in a blue moon, I got to actually put my own foot in my mouth. Sometimes you just misread a title and you think somebody is coming with the ops, but in reality, they're just looking for a good conversation. Now, I went up in this conversation with the full intention to start throwing some hands, but I quickly realized I made a big mistake. But that's okay because it actually led to what I thought was a wonderful conversation. And sometimes we want to see the drama, we want to see the Jerry Springer type content, but sometimes we just got to take a step back and we got to realize, hey, there's some good people out there just looking for the truth and looking to talk about what's going down and want to share their ideas. And that's exactly what happened in this video. And I want to share that with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, Big John.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for sharing my live.
Yeah, no problem. I want to be just transparent with you. I'm also live on my own YouTube channel. Is that okay with you?
YouTube channel? What
Yeah.
YouTube channel is it?
Big John Steele.
What is it?
Big John Steele. It's just my name.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay? Is that okay with you? I just like to be open with people.
Like what is it about? Are you a deconstruction?
No, I'm a Christian and I go around and have conversations with people.
Oh, yeah. I don't want like people to like try to reconvert, or I've heard so many things.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the evangelical thing on the street. Like, hey, you're going to burn if you don't turn. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Oh.
If that's what you're worried about.
Oh, okay, Lobes. Okay, I see what that is. Okay. No, I just, I know like, who the hell is that one? His name is like Terry or something. He does different debates and things like that. But I don't know. I'll check it out. Like,
sure.
So, but
yeah, if you want to go look at it first, yeah, I'm more than happy to wait.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. It's just there's a lot of everything since I deconstructed is very new to me.
Yeah.
And so it's taking time to process all of this crazy shit.
You know, I actually got to be honest with you. I misread your title, and I read as "All Christians are bad." I must be dyslexic or something. And that's actually what I came to talk about.
I get that all the time. I should probably change the wording on that into something, because I believe that not all Christians are bad. You know, it's just more and more. It's just, it's getting to be like this wild, like clicks and boxes and all this manipulation and shit. And I can't handle it.
Yeah, fair enough. So that was my mistake coming up. You said you don't want the whole evangelism thing, so I'm not going to do that. So I'll ask you if you want to talk about the deconstruction religious thing, but if you don't, I'll move on.
Yeah, deconstruction. It's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey because I've been able to actually have a brain. Because the shit that I fell into, like you weren't allowed to think for yourself, you know. Which is absolutely wild.
Do you think that? So
doesn't make sense. No.
If you left religion because of like the trauma that happened, does that conclude that like the religion is false, or is it like just not something you like?
It's false because I mean, you know, when you question when your abuser dies and God apparently loves rapists and P3DOs,
right,
and they're okay with going to heaven if they truly repented and turned from their wicked ways. Well, I don't know one nasty P3DO that's ever turned from their wicked ways and like, you know, grace and all this. Like that's just I can't do it. It's just gross to me.
I'm not going to get into what happened, but I just want to say whatever happened, I'm sorry you went through it. I would agree with you. Like a P3DO, if they don't turn from their way, then yeah, they don't get to make it. That's the Christian standard since the beginning.
Yeah, but it's the bothersome of, you know, that if they do turn from their ways, that their entrance, they get a second chance. And it's like, well, then I don't get justice on my end.
Well, that's not necessarily true, right?
True.
Did you go into like do you mind if I ask what kind of church you went to?
I went on to all different churches.
Did you go to like
all non-denominational?
Non-denominational. Okay. So there's this thing that I personally have a beef with. It's like what do you call it, fundamental Christianity. And I think a lot of that has come from like these new ideals and new dogmas that have come out throughout the years. There's these concepts of like apostolic Christianity, which goes, it's not just sola scriptura, it kind of goes a little bit more outside the Bible into church tradition and things that have happened. And when you take this and you also take the Apocrypha books as well, there's this idea of like, yes, people can be forgiven for doing these horrible things and they get a second chance at life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't face consequence for their horrible sins and their horrible actions.
They should. The problem I have with that is P3DOs and Grapists, anybody, they should just be taken out. And God, if God was such a loving and protecting God, I should have been protected when I was 8. Like God should have taken that person right out. But of course, I hear all this free will and all this other bullshit.
Right.
That well, it was, and then another thing is like it's part of God's plan. Well, I'm not for that. Like that's just nasty. I mean, I don't. Ugh, it's gross. And it doesn't sit well with me.
Could you agree that that doesn't prove or disprove the existence or the truth of Christianity? That I just more put it in a category of you disagreeing with it?
No, because if God loves everybody, even P3DOs, and it's okay for these people to turn from their ways and gain entrance into heaven, where's my justice? That's the problem that I have.
So the justice would be in the fact that God has also done the same for you. I both see in the justice. And the justice was spoken.
I did not do P3DO. Like you can't balance that. That's wild. Like people, sin is sin. No, that's just a fucking, that's gross. Like
no, I'm not saying it's the same. That's a misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm just saying God gives the same grace to you, right? Whatever sin that you do or anything that you transgress, you have offered the same opportunity and the same ability to turn from your sin and turn back to God. God is accepting the responsibility for all of humanity's sin and putting it upon his shoulders. And that's what makes him ultimately just. But the idea that you're saying like, well, this doesn't seem all loving to me, and that's fair. I can understand that. It doesn't seem all loving to you. Doesn't change the fact that you're kind of looking at like an internal critique. What's the view inside of Christianity traditionally of all love? And if it's just like your idea of love conflicts with the traditional view of Christian view of love, then it wouldn't change if it's true. It would just change whether or not you agree with it.
Well, I can't like be part of a quote loving God if he does that. Like that just, I mean, I have to go through all of this therapy to
I'm glad you're doing that, by the way. I think therapy is a wonderful thing. Hold on, pause right here. This is only going to take a second. If you want to support us over on Patreon. It helps this channel grow, helps us keep having these conversations. You can find the link down below. And there you're going to find access to a daily Bible study where we're currently going through the Gospel of John line by line, access to our raid sessions where we actually get to have these types of conversations, and you get access to our Hangouts if you missed that, plus exclusive content just for you. But I don't want to keep you too long, so let's get back to the video. So can I ask you a question about the justice thing?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be sorry. You've actually been very excellent in conversation with me, considering a lot of the conversations I have in the past, people get very hostile very quick with me, and you've been wonderful. So the idea of like, to you can't be a part of it because it doesn't seem like all loving to you. So my question for you is, what seems like a preferable outcome? You went through the tragedy that you went through. And again, let me give you the two scenarios. You went through the tragedy you went through, and there's no recompense. There's no solution. You went through it. You have to recover from it. You have to grow. That seems pretty terrible. Or you went through the tragedy you went through, and one day, maybe not today, but one day God will make it all right and he will conquer it and defeat it to the point where you even look back upon it and would even like, I wouldn't say consent, but you look back upon it and say, all things considered, it's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I can't like be okay with any of it. Everything is just so twisted, and there's so many gross things. I just can't handle it. Like I mean, nobody in their right mind who has been assaulted, I don't think, there's people that say that, well, there's some that have forgiven. And of course, some of them are wild. Like they're like, well, I forgive my abuser. It's just like that doesn't sit well with me. I mean,
Sure.
you do you, and it's just. But for me, I never got justice here on earth, and now that he's dead, I don't believe that I got justice with this supposed
Do you think
God.
that? Do you think your abuser repented?
Oh yeah, because his family said that because he went to church and did all this stuff and yada yada yada. Um,
Okay.
yeah, of course, because God's all loving and He's a God of grace and second chances, and it's just like, yeah, I would throw him right into the pit of fucking hell.
Understandable. Can I tell you a story? Like, there's a story of this woman. She had a child, and her child was murdered by another young man. Right. So they were involved in the same like gang life, I guess. And this one young man murdered her child. That young man went and spent
Yeah.
however long in jail. Right. He was very young at the time, so it wasn't too long. So he spent that time in jail. After he left jail, he turned from that. He realized what he did was horrible and wrong. He went back to that woman and he tried to make everything right and make peace with her. They actually ended up building such a solid relationship with each other that he ended up going over for dinners, Thanksgiving, Christmas, ended up helping, taking care of her, do all these things. Do you think the world is better having that type of forgiveness or worse?
That's just, I can't sit well with that either. Like that's not. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I get it doesn't sit well with you, but do you think the world's better with that type of forgiveness?
No.
You don't think
Like
so?
once you do something in a damaging way, whether it's murder or
Hmm.
P3DO or anything like that, like there needs to be a different, like, I mean, in Texas, if you do something like that, like they will take you right the fuck out. And I think that's what God should be doing, is just taking these people out.
So
And it's
you
just
don't
like,
believe?
okay, well, if they,
Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off. Go
no, it's
ahead.
okay. If they, you know, if God did this because in the Old Testament, from the flood and shit, it's just like it should be the same thing.
Hmm.
But of course, it's the free will and all that, and it's just like it's just wild to me that um, He allows things, and it's just I'm so tired of all the sin talk, and it's just gross altogether.
So you don't believe in redemption?
Nope.
So you
Once
think
my
once
abuser
some
does something to me, once my abuser does something to me, I
mhm.
want them dead on the spot.
Okay.
Like
So then
I
my
shouldn't have
question would
waited.
be, where's the line for redemption? Like, what is like the exact line where we say yes, you can be redeemed, and no, you can't?
Like if you steal something,
Hmm.
yeah, okay, because there is forgiveness in that. I've had somebody steal from me.
Sure.
Um, you know, grape obviously is the three top is probably Schmurder, grape, and P3DO is where they should just all of a sudden just throw them right down into the pit of hell automatically.
Okay. So then let's say that there is this standard from God. Let's say the example there's a standard of like unforgivable sins that once you do it, you go to hell for eternity. That's where you spend. So you would say you believe in an eternal punishment for a finite crime.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know I talked to like many atheists that would say that that's horrendous, that God should never eternally torture or punish somebody for a finite crime, something that they made a decision in 80 years, they get an eternity of suffering.
Like they don't want the rapist to suffer.
Well, many atheists have told me, yeah, that they would not have an eternity. Like that's a long time for like a finite. Because you think about it, our
Yeah.
time here on Earth is like 80 years, and we can make horrendous mistakes in those 80 years. But eternity, that's
Yeah.
eternity. It never stops. It never ends. I'd say God is more just in allowing anybody to find a way out of this horrendous place if they so choose it, and if they have a genuine, like a heart of repentance means that you genuinely turn away from it, that you genuinely realize it's wrong and you will never do it again. I think that's a better outcome than just like you messed up and you never get a chance to recover from it.
Well, not for me. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that, besides myself, that want to see like eternal hell and
Hmm.
P3DOs and grape and things like that.
Okay.
My mind won't ever change. I mean, after I found out about this and found out my abuser died, and then, finding things that some loving God is okay with allowing redemption and grace and all that shit to somebody who just thought, it's okay to do this because, I'm gonna try and get away with it. Now, if I was an adult and I saw my child, like, ugh, fuck. I can't. I'm still trying to deprocess all this
Hmm.
shit, and I have to fix what I have been screwed up with for 10 plus years, believing in such a quote loving God that isn't what he's all about.
Okay.
So,
But we could both
but
agree that,
thank you.
yeah. So we could both agree though that how we feel about how God treats certain things doesn't necessarily prove or disprove Christianity, right?
Well, it proves that God's a lie. God's a liar.
Well, only if you impose like your viewpoint of what's considered all loving upon the text, because the
Well,
traditional,
The Bible is pretty much a lie. I mean, you look at what slavery, and there's a lot of grape in there too.
sure,
I mean,
yeah,
it's just
I can grant all that, but that wouldn't like me
full of
disagreeing with what the
violence.
Bible says doesn't change whether it's true or not.
Well, I mean, everybody's got their ways, and I got my ways, and I got to heal from all this. So,
Sure. Well, I'm not gonna
but
pester you anymore.
no, you're fine.
So I'm
But
gonna
thank you
let you
for
go.
being.
Yeah. But thank you so much for the conversation. And
Yeah,
yeah, I know it doesn't mean anything to you, but God bless, and I'll be praying for you. So have a good one.
thank you.
I do not think pestering her about the historical reliability of the Gospels was a wise or smart move to do in that specific moment. I think it was best to just talk in that situation. I came up under a false pretense as well. So that was a pretty good convo. I enjoyed it. I hope we can have more combos like that in the future, but they don't always go that way. So maybe you should check out this one if you want a little bit more drama, where we actually discuss whether or not there's two genders. Yeah, go check that out. We'll see you there. God bless.